It's fun to show off your knowledge and your abilities, but sometimes you just want to kick back, relax, and enjoy the game without stress.
Like a filthy casual. What's up, everybody, and welcome to 3VO, where we're all on the same team. I'm one of your hosts, Jordan.
And I'm your other host, Brendan.
And we are just two big old nerds that absolutely love video games and love talking about them. And if you too share that same just undeniable love and passion for games like us, you are absolutely at the right place. Today, we're going to be running things a little bit different. It's going to be a bit more of a casual feel today. Today, we're just going to be talking in generals about announcements from E3, what we've been doing in games in general, just like the stuff that we've been playing and whatnot, just kind of taking a casual kickback approach today.
That's right. If today was a t-shirt, then it would be a relaxed fit. If it was a Pokemon, it would be Pikachu, because it's widely accepted by everybody. And if it was a musical, it would be Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, because you can watch it once and then you're good.
Anyway.
Did you not like that?
It was just that you started with one, and I was like, oh, he came up with a dumb pun, but then you kept going. So I then got this image. No, I love it. I got this image of you just like sitting there going like, ooh, and then.
That's kind of how it went down.
Brilliant. So that's what we're doing today. But as always, to start us off, Brendan, my friend, how are you?
I'm good. I am so good. I took some time to like go out of town for a little while last weekend. We went to Palm Springs. It was very nice. One of the benefits of living right where we do, which is non-specific location in San Bernardino County. But we're like an hour from everything, so it was nice to just drive to Palm Springs. We stayed at an Airbnb. We had a very nice, relaxing time. The pool was like bathwater the whole time, so we didn't really we didn't really get a break from the heat. But we still had a really, really good time.
There is no break from the heat at this point. The heat just follows you. It doesn't matter.
Southern California life.
Yep. Listen, you sacrifice a little bit to get something better. Yes, it's incredibly hot, but we don't have to live anywhere else in the country.
Very true.
Just like, it's hot as shit, but we're not Florida. It's
very true. I would take dry heat over humid heat all the time.
Oh my God. I was just in Minnesota for family reasons, so I was in the smack dab middle of humid heat summer, to which I will say,
I'm sorry.
Minnesota during the summer aesthetically is beautiful. It's all these old buildings, but they've also done a lot of cool stuff with like new architecture, so it all looks kind of new agey and cool mixed with the old stuff. And everything's green and really bright, and the sun's always out, and there's no smog because it's not California. Another drawback in California, all the smog. You get a smog warning with your fucking weather report. But just it was like 50-60% humidity the whole time I was out there with like 98 degrees outside. So I'll take this and the smog. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Dry California heat beats pea soup. So
absolutely.
As far as like video games, we actually recently started playing. Me and Garrett, we recently started playing the new co-op. Like 2-player specific game. It Takes Two. Have you heard about this?
I have. I know little to nothing about it though.
It's so cute.
Is it really good?
It's really good. It's like all of the mechanics are really optimized. Like for a game that had the silly premise and like the silly character design and everything that it did, I kind of thought like going into it like, oh, this will be cute, but like maybe it won't be the most optimized, maybe it won't be the best. Like, everything's great. It works very smoothly. The mechanics are really fun. The story's really cute. Okay. We're having a grand time.
So less of that like tricky thing, especially with a co-op game like that, where it's a lot of just like frustrating, like figuring out some of the more complex mechanics and whatnot, but it all just is sort of okay.
Yeah. It just, everything works really smoothly. You're never like frustrated about like, oh, I didn't get that, button input exactly perfect, so I didn't, make the jump or like whatever, like things about platformers that get me kind of annoying if the mechanics aren't great.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any of that, really.
Nice. Okay.
And it's cool because each like level or area that you go through, you get like a different kind of like power. At least like that's how it's been so far. But
Okay.
you lose the old one, so it's kind of always fresh.
Nice.
Yeah. It's really enjoyable.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
What about you? What have you been up to?
Well, Brendan, you know I'm not one for dramatics. But yesterday, I don't think anybody could possibly have had a worse day than me.
Okay.
So things have been opening up again, which is
Yeah.
wonderful and great. And me and the wife have been talking about going to go see a movie at some
Uh-huh.
point. Because
Yeah.
pre-COVID, like so many other people, we love going to see movies and whatnot.
Right.
And so we've been tentatively making those plans. And the other day she comes to me and she says, did you still want to go see a movie? And I was like, absolutely, of course. I'd love to go see a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, do you care? Like, what movie? I was like, no, I just want to go do something with you. And we love seeing movies, so that's what I want to go see. And she went, cool. Do you want to go see the new Fast and Furious? And I went, absolutely not. I don't know. I don't want to go. Long story short, I went. With the stipulation of just like, I'm going to be hammered the whole fucking time we watch this movie. And I went, I didn't cause a scene. I sat there quietly and respectfully because I still respect the theater. I'm not a complete asshole. But just that movie, it was an assault to my frontal lobe. It was just like, it was so, if you love the franchise, I'm very sorry, but this movie was just dumb. It wasn't even, it was barely even like enjoyable stupid.
Oh no.
It was just, it had a few cool moments. John Cena was good in it, but other than that, just, it was just a slog.
I'm so sorry.
2.5 hour slog of just bad CG.
Oh.
So if you didn't come here for my hot takes on Fast and Furious, sorry.
I don't think anybody came for your hot takes on
Probably
Fast and
not.
Furious.
Probably
That's
not.
okay, because they're here for the video games.
They are. To which, for myself for video games, I've been really getting back into my playthrough for Final Fantasy X.
Oh, nice.
Which is a game that I love from way back in the day. And I recently had something that made me feel incredibly stupid in the game.
What happened?
So Final Fantasy as a series, at least for 10, they're really good at like kind of setting you up to kind of know how the game is played. But then once you get the basic mechanics, it's just sort of like, you're on your own, figure it out from there.
Sure.
And so I got stuck at this boss. For anyone who knows it, it's the first fight with Seymour. This makes zero sense to you. But for anyone who's played Final Fantasy, the first fight with Seymour, which is a bitch. So I'm fighting this dude, and basically the way you have to fight him is that you kind of get him and his cronies down to lower level. When you kill his cronies, then you have to get him down to a certain level. And then he summons, and then he summons this thing in the game called an Aeon. It's basically this giant being they can summon out that attacks for them and whatnot.
Okay, sure.
And the only way to really fight this one particular back is to summon your own against it. And I was 6 times in the fight, like every single time, he would just like smoke it, just like fucking crush my Aeon every single time. And I'm like, what am I fucking doing wrong? Like, this is how you're supposed to play it. Mm-hmm. What am I doing wrong? Mm-hmm. So the Aeons are element based. Well, some of them are element based. And the main one I was using is a Blizzard type.
I see where this is going.
So
was this like a fire type or something?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no. I know what you think it is. It's dumb.
Okay.
It's actually dumber than you think.
Oh my gosh.
So after like the 5th time, I got a random memory to another random like attack encounter I was in before where I was fighting an elemental that was a thunder type. Mm-hmm. And it attacked itself with a thunder spell. Okay. And it healed it. As a part of mechanic in the game.
Ah, now I see where this is going.
I didn't even begin to think that was something I could fucking do with my own summons and Aeons and shit. So did that and the fight was fucking easy after that.
Happens to the best of us.
Felt so, I'm 30 hours into the game. Oh. I've been playing it. I've so much time. And
I think that happens a lot, though. Sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees, you know? Like, that happens to me. I can't think of any, like, specific examples, but sometimes you'll just, like, bash your head against a problem, and you're like, I can't figure it out, and then something will happen, and you'll be like, wow, I am dumb.
to which I get, but you don't understand. On this playthrough, I'm playing against 13-year-old Jordan, who was too dumb to figure this shit out. So when I hit these
you've
moments...
already played this game before?
I played it when I was a kid.
Oh, never.
Yeah. So no excuse, but also I'm subconsciously competing against my younger self who couldn't figure it out. So when I hit the same roadblocks, I think I've learned nothing since I was 13.
You're like, what am I doing with my life?
What the fuck happened? What have I accomplished in life?
I only have a video game podcast.
That's it. That's the saddest thing. I fucked this up and I run a podcast where I talk about video games with like some authority.
Some authority.
Not a lot, just some.
3VO podcast, asterisk, some authority.
Well, now that we've got all the pleasantries out of the way, let's talk about video games, you filthy casuals.
Oh, brother. So there's been a lot of video game news recently.
Lots and lots of news.
We're actually a little behind the ball, but hey, that's because of our recording schedule, so we're sorry. But there's a lot of exciting things happening in the world of video games right now because E3 just happened. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what E3 is and you listen to this podcast, I don't know if you're in the right place, but E3 is a big, usually in-person convention where a lot of video game developers and manufacturers and companies come together and they say, hey, here's what's up, here's what we're working on, here's what's coming to you. Now, it was largely virtual this year because of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, but we still got a lot of cool and interesting news about everything that's coming out. I'm particularly interested in the stuff that happened in like the Nintendo Direct, so that's kind of like what I'm
shocking to nobody.
Shocking to nobody. Yes. But I'm sure that you have a lot of other things that you're interested in the other realm of things.
I've definitely got a few things, but just to sort of like jump us into it right away.
Yeah.
Something that did catch my eye from the Nintendo side of things, just to lead us into something I'm sure you want to talk about, is the Breath of the Wild.
Yes, of course.
Sequel that's been announced.
I mean, it is the new hotness.
Yes, it really is. But what I find interesting about it, maybe you know a little bit more than I do, but is it a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild?
It is.
Really? Mm-hmm. So it's going to be Breath of the Wild 2.
Well, okay, let me.
Because this is what I wonder.
Let me backtrack.
Because this is what I wonder. This is what I wonder. Because it's like, I'm wondering if, because of the way that Zelda has kind of worked in the past, is that, I mean, to use it as like the broad example, like sort of once Ocarina of Time came out, that kind of became the style in which that, the console like Zelda games were kind of made, that third person sort of open world style. There were different mechanics in each game, but that was sort of the take on it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm wondering. Is this a sequel to Breath of the Wild, or is this just now the scope that we're working within for the Zelda for Zelda? Do you know what I mean?
I kind of see what you're asking. Like, is Breath of the Wild now like the benchmark for? Like,
is it the new benchmark essentially for Zelda? Yeah.
Great question. I think a little bit yes and a little bit no.
Okay.
Because it could be. We have yet to see.
Right.
Because like
this is a pure speculation at this point.
Right. Completely pure speculation. But much like Ocarina of Time kind of, set the tone for like, this is what now Zelda games look like fully realized three-dimensional worlds, RPG mechanics, inventory, that whole thing, like kind of set the benchmark for that. Breath of the Wild did all of that and more because it was like, now we have a fully open world.
It's true.
And we're doing this other, this different kind of inventory system and this different sort of formula because you don't have the linear kind of progression that you did from before. So, so it did a lot of things that kind of were very, very different.
Gotcha.
Things that make me not love it as much as other Zelda titles, but that's okay. That's beside the point. But that aside, so Breath of the Wild 2 is looking like it's gonna be set before the events of Breath of the Wild 1.
Okay.
So is it a direct sequel? Yes, in terms of it came out afterwards. And is like a direct, the next step.
But it's most likely going to be something of like a prequel.
But more of a before the events of that one. At least that's what it looks like. Because it looks like you can control both Link and Zelda. And there's going to be lots of different mechanics. And in fact, a whole different level to the map. Because it looks like things are taking place in the skies above Hyrule. Which is awesome. Super into that.
If you could just have that same, like we talked about in our Breath of the Wild episode, of that feeling of sort of being able to go anywhere and do anything. If you can take that straight up, like being able to do stuff up above the clouds, that is a really cool thing to add to a game.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, I mean, more to be seen because we still don't have I don't think we even have a release date yet. 2022, I think, is as specific as Nintendo has gotten about it.
Very few of them that I saw from E3 had like specific. Some of them did, but some of them
but
did. But a lot of the ones that I was keeping an eye on didn't have like a specific release date.
I noticed that a lot of Nintendo dates do have, like, a lot of Nintendo titles do have dates.
Yeah.
But with a big asterisk that says, but maybe not.
To which, for me, is particularly with video games, I'm just like, you know what? I'll wait. Like, you know, give it to me when it's ready. I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've gone through. I've lived through the slog of just like getting the games that are not finished, and then like down the line through patches and like DLC and da-da-da. Now it's a full game. I'm like, no, just sell me a complete game. We will wait. We know we will wait. Everyone waited 20 years for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yo.
We will wait an extra year. Like, it's gonna be fine. No one's gonna flip out and just like not buy it because they took too long.
We are a patient people.
Typically, for the most part. Like, I don't know any gamer that's kind of like, if they don't release another Assassin's Creed this year, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like,
well, nobody's saying that.
no one's saying that. But, it's like, but they release one pretty much every year, and it's just like, why do you think you need to keep that timetable?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, take it easy on yourself.
Yeah.
Well, probably the capitalistic economic side of things. Probably.
I mean, yes. But also, you know we're gonna buy it. Like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but I mean, I could see some, like, video game execs being, like, you know, going to, like, their board and being like, hey, like, we need to wait a year because we need to fix it. And their board being like, no. Because they don't know. They don't care.
I don't know what you're talking about. EA is a great company.
Whoa.
To sort of jump off of that too, because something else that I saw that it was, I don't think it got as much like coverage on it, but just like the announcement of the Skyward Sword HD release is coming out too.
Yeah.
Just while we're talking about Zelda, I figure we'll just lead into that
So
too.
that's coming out next month, and I mean, it's everything that we expected, really. It's another HD remake of the game that we bought many years ago and will shell out more money for this time.
I was gonna say, and that you will be buying again.
Yes, exactly. Because, I mean, it works. You know, that's the thing. You build it and we will come. Like, that's what it is.
It's true. But that's also exciting for people like me who didn't play them back in the day, that now they can kind of get a more updated version, because it's like, there's still some Zelda titles that I want to get into and try playing at some point. So, you know, that's exciting for me. Not necessarily Skyward Sword, but...
Yeah, and I don't blame you for that.
I've watched stuff on Skyward Sword, and I'm just like, oh, that looks like the biggest fucking song.
It. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I'm a Zelda stan. So
I was gonna say, you're a big fanboy though, so like,
I'm excited for it. And we also have like unconfirmed, but like kind of confirmed rumblings that we're supposed to be getting like an Ocarina of Time and no, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Twilight Princess and Majora's Mask also maybe re-released, ported for the Switch. There's rumblings
about that.
Yeah.
Okay, what's so have they ever done like another port for like Ocarina of Time?
Ocarina of Time? Yeah. Well, they did that and Majora's Mask. They ported it to the 3DS.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, they ported it, but no like HD remake for those.
I mean, it is HD.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah. No, they remastered it and they re-released it for the Nintendo 3DS. Both of those titles. Gotcha. Which is kind of like for a long while why we were like, well, they probably won't port it to the Switch because they just did it. Yeah. But they will. I think they will, at least.
They will. As long as they know they're going to make money off of it, they will.
Yeah, truly. And it's like, they have the assets. They have everything for it.
Yeah, just do it.
I don't think it's hard.
Just do it.
Hard? I don't know a thing about game developing.
I have no clue. Actually, you're right. I have no idea.
It might be incredibly difficult.
It might be a bitch, and every time they're like, another fucking HD remake.
Oh my gosh. Everybody at Zelda is just like, fuck.
Just fucking dive back into the code, I guess.
A couple of other cool things in the realm of like re-releases coming to the Nintendo Switch from the Nintendo Direct. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Can you believe? Like,
so they did the HD remake for Tony Hawk 1 and 2 like a year or two back.
Oh, did they?
And it's been on PlayStation and Xbox, I think.
Okay.
I've definitely seen them on Marketplace for the Xbox. So now it's just getting
ported. Got it.
Getting ported to the Switch. It's still cool though. I mean, it's still cool.
Oh yeah,
because these are like for the most part, I feel like that's the kind of title you wouldn't normally see on Nintendo.
No, absolutely
you know what
not.
I mean?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. But especially that one makes a lot of sense to me for Nintendo because it's like being able to pick up a Switch and like portably take it around with you and play something like Tony Hawk. Mm-hmm. That's the dream when you're a fucking kid, man. You're just like, I don't want to stop. Okay.
Now, I never played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater at all because they didn't have the proper consoles at the time. And also, I didn't care. So
I never owned a Tony Hawk. I only ever played at like friends' places, but they were just dumb fun.
Oh,
you just goof around on a skateboard and have a good time.
Sounds about right.
And immediately put in all the cheat codes so you have like infinite airtime and shit and just like
naturally.
That's really what you do it. It's like Tony Hawk, and in my opinion, Tony Hawk and GTA are games you buy and play to use cheat codes to really enjoy playing the game.
Like SimCity.
Yeah, that too. SimCity is also on that list too.
Or like Warcraft.
We should just make a list of games that are fun but funner with cheat codes.
That's an episode.
And just do an episode of just like the best cheat code games.
Games that are better with cheat codes.
Yes.
I like that. Hey, was there anything else from the Nintendo Direct that you were like, wow, that looks cool? Or
well, the announcement of another Metroid game to me feels kind of fucking crazy because
it's a 2D platformer again.
Yeah. Well, because at this point, I had figured after the last kerfuffle ages ago with a Metroid game that happened, I just assumed that they were just like, we're done for a while. And I wasn't expecting to see another Metroid release for a while. So just to see one coming. Although for a console like the Switch, it makes sense that they would push something new for it.
Absolutely. It looks really good.
It does look really good. I've never been a big Metroid fan, but I've always loved the aesthetic of that look.
I would 100% agree with that.
The Samus suit always looks cool. Everything in the world just always looks like super clean and whatnot. Yeah.
It's cool that it's a 2D platformer again. I was kind of like mixed about it at first. I was like, why are we regressing? You know?
Yeah.
But it's kind of a throwback to the classic, idea that Metroid started out. It was a 2D platformer when it started. And maybe after the last game, they were like, maybe let's go back to what we're good at.
I think that's probably the plan. Is just like let's kind of get back to the roots, get back to the core of what is that makes this, what it is that people like about Metroid. Let's take it back to the original 2D platformer setting, but with better graphics and different mechanics and whatnot, and just kind of see how we go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean,
and less sexism.
There's definitely a space for games of that variety that people really enjoy, because like me, I'm an RPG player, so I'm like, if I could have a 3D open world, like I would much prefer to do that instead of like a platformer. But there are platformers that I very much enjoy. We just recently started playing Dead Cells. I don't know if you're familiar with that game.
That sounds familiar.
It's pretty fun. It's a game where you like die over and over and over and over, but you get a little bit better every time that you play, and you get more stuff that becomes permanent.
One of them was one of them.
Yeah. It's very enjoyable.
I do like those. I think the trick with, and to kind of bring this into the Metroid setting, is I think the trick with the 2D side-scrolling platformers is that you can do them now, but you still have to bring something kind of different and new to it. It's just like, if you just give me what is basically either like old school Mario or something like that, and it's like, I've done this already. Yeah. So like, why am I gonna play it again? So. But I mean, like, it's Nintendo, it's the Metroid team. Like, they know this.
They got it. Anything else in the Nintendo Direct?
Nothing that I saw.
There was a lot of like little titles that I was like, oh, cool. Yeah.
That's the thing. When I looked through, it was just like, I don't know any of these names or titles.
I watched the Nintendo Direct, and there was a lot of like little things that I was like, oh, that could be cool, or it could be, not cool. Notably, like the highlights, like Guardians of the Galaxy, that game. I mean, I think that's a highlight. Have you seen anything for that?
I saw a bit for that.
A little bit. I think it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be fun.
I'm sure it's gonna be cool. I don't really like the look of it thus far.
Okay,
everyone looks really funky.
Is that because you're comparing it to the movies?
No, it's just because I think they look weird.
Because you're comparing it to the movie.
No, because they just look weird. I think Star-Lord has a weird looking model. I don't know what it is. There's just something about the character model that looks funky to me.
Maybe a little Uncanny Valley is happening?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something. It was the same thing that when they did that Avengers game, like a year or two back. It was a similar thing where it was just like, it doesn't look bad, but something is just off a little bit.
Gotcha.
I think maybe it's because the aesthetic and the look is still. Maybe you're half right. The aesthetic and look is still like close enough to the movies that my brain wants to register it as the characters in the films. But then the faces aren't, so then my brain's like, what is what?
Yeah. I think it's really hard, especially because we've had those movies around for so long now and done so many different movies in that universe in particular that our brains are like, no, those characters don't look like that.
This is who this is. You're probably right.
I think the game looks pretty cool in and of itself, though.
No, as far as the actual game itself goes, I think it does look really cool.
Really dope, I think. We're getting another Mario Party game, another notable highlight. It looks like a regurgitation of some things from the past, which is okay. I like a remake. You know, I just wish that Nintendo would give us Super Mario Party 3 again. Just remake number 3. Not a conglomeration of lots of things, just number 3 again.
What is it about 3? Because I've played the Mario Party games like sporadically throughout my life. So what is it about 3 that is the particular like?
I'm so glad you asked.
Okay. It's almost like you went hit it, and I went, oh, okay.
Number 3 was excellent. It was for the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
So there's probably a lot of like nostalgia that is like bringing it home for me.
Fair enough.
It was really good. There was like a progression in that one. There was like goals that you could achieve.
Okay.
And things that you could do, and it had a lot of boards and a lot of mini games, and then there was like another like different game mode that you could play with like pets or something. It's a little vague in my brain.
Yeah.
But I just remember that everything in that game was like solid.
Okay, like, gotcha. Everything was just like well done,
good
polished.
Time. It was super polished. It was really fun. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And imagine that, but on the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo, come on. Other than that, there's a lot of like other titles that are coming out that look cool for the various communities or groups of people that are looking forward to those games, like the Life is Strange game that is coming out, along with the remastered collection as well. That's really cool. I never played any of those games, but I recognize the thing when that looks like really cool for that,
It was never one that I could totally get into, and I'll admit that for Life is Strange, it was a total me thing. Just like getting into the game, it was very slow. And just like, I need to go back and try again because I'm probably in a better space for it now. But just like at the time, I was just like, okay, I'm like, cool, I can kind of rewind time. Can we like fucking move forward with the goddamn plot, please? Like, just go.
We're also getting a Super Monkey Ball game, which I guess is the franchise that won't die.
It's one of those ones that just like...
It's their 20th year.
I never hear about it for like... until another one gets announced, and then there's just like this weird little group of people who go fucking nuts for the fact there's another Super Monkey Ball. I'm like, where have you been? Like,
I have never played a Monkey Ball in my life.
I couldn't tell you which one. I know I played one. I didn't like beat it, but I know I've played it.
Is it not just like a conglomeration of like mini games?
Pretty much.
There's a story?
You are a monkey in a ball.
Yes, I got that.
guiding him through like a maze sort of thing and try not to fall off, and you're collecting bananas. And that's it.
Okay.
So
sounds like a really great arcade game.
Yes, and I don't understand like where you go beyond that. Like, I'm not knocking it. Clearly it works.
Clearly it works. I mean, they've been going for 20 years. Not my style of game, but there's clearly definitely a community that really enjoys that.
There's a dedicated Monkey Ball community out
there.
Which
is great. Go Monkey Ball.
Fuck yeah, no. Just like, I don't get Monkey Ball, but I love that there's clearly just like a genuine love for Monkey Ball out there.
That's really great. We also have Shin Megami Tensei 5 coming out. I didn't know any of the Shin Megami Tenseis.
I didn't know about any of them until you just said that.
It looks pretty cool. It's like a JRPG.
Okay.
Turn-based combat sort of situation.
Shin Megami Tensei
5. I know.
That sounds vaguely familiar. Like I feel like I've heard of that before. I don't know what it is, but it sounds...
It looks kind of cool. I don't know if it's super my speed, because turn-based combat's kind of a turn-off for me, but...
Fair enough.
But, like, if that's your thing, definitely check out Shin Megami Tensei 5. We also have the Dragon Ball Z game coming out. I don't know if you got it.
That's right. I saw a little bit for it.
I'm not a Dragon Ball Z fan. I didn't watch it growing up.
I've been out of Dragon Ball Z for so long at this point.
It looks really cool for the people that, like I said... If you're like a fan of that and you're looking forward to that, it looks dope.
Yeah. I do know that the Dragon Ball Z fighting games do a lot of really cool stuff as far as like in-game comment and like kind of immersing the players and like feeling they are the characters and being able to use all their abilities and stuff like that. So the more immersive you can get into that for the fans, I'm all about it.
And then just like assorted things like the Just Dance 2022 game, Mario Golf, which is out now. Monster Hunter Stories 2, which if you're a Monster Hunter fan, that looks really good too. Everything looks really, really good for the like groups that it's trying to hit. You know what I mean? Everything looks good. What about non-Nintendo?
Non-Nintendo stuff. So one of the things that I am very, very excited about, and this is one I've been tracking for a while, was the announcement for Back 4 Blood.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
This is the spirit. For all I know about it, this is the spiritual successor for Left 4 Dead.
Oh, okay.
Series. It's sort of like it's the next stepping point. Not next stepping point, but it's just kind of like whoever made the original Left 4 Dead can't do another Left 4 Dead, so this is like the next version.
Got it.
Basically.
Okay. They're like picking up the helm.
Yeah, and just like it's from what I know, it's gonna be the same thing as the last ones. 4-player co-op if you want to do it. You're fighting zombies. You're stuck in a situation. You have limited ammo and skills and and you're just running around killing stuff with your friends.
Okay.
And it's just gonna be a good time. That's
nice,
all I know about, and I'm very, very excited for it.
That's good. I mean, that's the mark of something that draws you in, especially if it's filling the shoes of something like that. That's gonna draw a lot of people in.
Yeah, it's true.
Very cool.
The next one that I'm psyched about is finally the announcement, and I don't remember what the date was, but they said an actual date for Dying Light 2.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I was such a big fan of the first Dying Light game. We'll need to cover that at some point on the podcast. I don't know if it would work for an episode to cover, because there's everything about it is very impressive as far as like a video game goes, but as far as like a story and a plot, everything goes, it's very basic.
Oh, okay.
And I don't mean that in a mean way, but it's just like, the plot is simple, the story is very simple, and it works for the game. But just like, it would be one that would maybe be fun to do for like a gameplay thing for the channel or something like that, if you guys want to see something like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Dying Light is available December 7th.
That was it. Thank you.
So
December 7th.
There we are.
Thank you very much. Very, very excited about that. If you don't know what it is, basically,
I don't.
it is sort of take something like Resident Evil or Left 4 Dead, like a zombie type set, or like more like a Dead Rising, like a zombie open world zombie setting apocalypse, but you play with the character with the abilities of the character from Mirror's Edge.
Okay. What?
So, uncultured.
Anyway. Sorry.
You basically you could run around the whole city using like parkour skills to like jump over stuff and leap from building to building and whatnot, and use that to fight zombies and shit like that. So it's not like stop, shoot, it's run, move, hit, and just like keep going. Kind of thing.
Okay.
Very, very cool. Okay, I'm gonna make you play Dying Light now because it's an excellent game.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
What else are you looking forward to in the non-Nintendo realm of things?
Apparently,
I've got a couple.
Yeah.
I was like, didn't know a thing about, and now I'm like, okay, you know.
One that I saw that I'm interested in. There's not much on it yet, but they're making another Fable game.
Are they really?
Yeah.
What?
And they're calling it Fable 4, but it's not like there's no confirmed word on like whether it is a sequel to the original 3 or if they're rebooting the franchise. And the last word I got is that it's like sort of a soft reboot of the franchise, but they're not disregarding the other games necessarily.
Okay, it's like, yes, those happened, but
also this is going to be something completely different.
I mean, it's time because those were all out on the Xbox 360, right?
They were ages ago. Well, the company that made them went out.
Oh,
so
unfortunate.
There's probably been some like licensing shit that's been going on for like who gets to control that and whatnot. But
that's exciting though.
It is.
I didn't really catch the Fable games, but I knew about them and I knew people that played them. They always looked very interesting.
Yeah. It's one that I have a tumultuous relationship with as far as the Fable franchise goes. Because I think the first Fable game is brilliant to me. It's like I replayed it like a year and a half ago because I got a hold of another like anniversary release copy for it.
Okay.
And it was super fun and super cool. And then the next two just the plot was just such a mess.
Oh.
I don't know how else to put it, but just like it got messy and convoluted in terms of like the morality system that was in play and whatnot. So if it is sort of even a soft reboot, I'm excited and maybe to kind of see if I don't know who's in charge of it now, but to sort of maybe see if somebody else has like a different take on the franchise. Would honestly be kind of cool.
Okay.
Personally.
Cool. Yeah. Like maybe we could do something new this time.
Yeah, something a little bit new.
Cool. Did you catch the trailer for the new Bethesda game that is coming out?
No, which one's that?
Starfield.
I know nothing about Starfield.
It's not coming out this year. It's going to be aimed for next year. I think it's like December of next year.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. But it's like open world RPG but space.
Ooh.
From Bethesda.
Okay.
Of Skyrim fame. So.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds exciting. I mean, to me. And the way it was pitched is kind of like, this isn't like high science fantasy outer space, like fighting aliens and stuff. It's more like realistic kind of outer space situation. I'm into it.
I mean, sure, but what you just pitched to me was just kind of like, it's fighting in space, but without all the fun stuff that you would want to do in space.
That you'd want to do if you were in space.
You know, like fighting aliens and stuff. Like
I have high hopes because it's Bethesda, so I have high hopes for it. I think they'll do a good job, and I don't think
they have rarely fallen short.
They're not going to make a boring game, you know?
They are not. You are correct. They will not make a boring game.
Also in the realm of outer space travel, we have the sequel for Outer Worlds 2 announced.
They did?
I know!
Oh my god.
I know!
Completely missed that.
I know! So yeah, Outer Worlds 2 is gonna be a thing.
Okay. I mean...
cool. I played a little bit of Outer Worlds.
I did too. It was not quite my speed.
Yeah, it wasn't for me either.
Yeah.
But I know that there's like a niche for that.
Oh yeah. And like looking at it's another one of those ones that like we talked about in our interview series briefly, was that it's kind of like that falls into one of those ones where it's like, I get why you like it. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Like looking at something like Outer Worlds, I'm like, I get the aesthetic, I get the approach, I get the gameplay. It's just like it was just not my jam at a certain point.
I would agree. I would agree. Yeah. Are you excited about Halo Infinite though?
I am actually.
I thought you might be.
One, because apparently it's just going to come out for free on Game Pass.
Wow.
which I'm excited about. Most of the Microsoft licensed titles are going to be on their release day. Will also be coming out for Game Pass, or shortly after will be released for Game Pass as well. Okay. So, but the interesting thing for me for that is the announcement of that the multiplayer will be free to play.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very smart move. Personally, because like I have fallen on a multiplayer online ages ago, but I get that just like if you're someone who's like, I do want to play Halo Online, but I don't want to fucking pay for it because I'm just gonna play it online. I don't care about the campaign. I could just play online with your friends, and it's cool. And Halo's always been fun. I've been a fan since the first one came out, so I'm excited.
It makes sense, honestly, to keep up in like. If you're gonna do like a multiplayer online situation, it might as well be free because everything else is nowadays. Yeah, you know, and kids will just pick something else up like Fortnite.
That's true. But to me, this also is a good way for the market to go because now it's just like they're mostly this is what they tried to do this ages ago when they were making purely multiplayer games. Like I don't remember specifically the name of it, but it was a game called like Shadow Run or something like that. That was this like. It was a cool idea, and I'm so sad it didn't really take off, but the whole concept was that, like, it was a first-person shooter and multiplayer game, but you also had, like, magic spells you could use, too. And it was like, elves and dwarves and, like, da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, okay. This is vaguely familiar to me, yeah.
Yeah, it hit for, like, a small minute way back in the day, but, like, it didn't really get picked up because it was just multiplayer. There was no story. There was no plot, nothing like that. Now you can have something where it's, like, free-to-play multiplayer, go for it. But then also if you wanted, here's the plot. You know what I mean? And to me, that's the best way to do it, especially for guys like us, where it's just kind of like, I don't want the multiplayer, but like I want to go play the storyline. I want to play the campaign. Yeah. Whereas, and there are gamers out there who are like, I don't care about the campaign. I just want to go online and play with my friends, which is like, I totally get that.
A little something for everybody.
A little something for everybody.
Okay. Did you see? It's not a direct sequel exactly. It's not like a sequel, but it's kind of like a spin-off of Borderlands. Did you see it?
No, which one was that?
Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Oh, I did hear about this.
Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I'm so excited.
I know nothing about it. I just saw it and I went, green light, go.
Yeah, I've heard enough, thank you.
Yeah, you had me at Tiny Tina, like we're sets.
Honestly, because I haven't played Borderlands 2, but I played through Borderlands 1. Incredible game, so fun. And I love games that don't take themselves seriously.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and that is Borderlands to a
T. And so you tell me that you're going to do that again, but it's going to be like fantasy inspired and kind of, I mean, everything's got like a new coat of paint on it. It's all kind of cutesy a little bit. Yeah. I am in. I'm like, yep, sign me up. Like,
well, it's from what I remember, it's probably going to be loosely based off of the DLC you get for Borderlands 2.
Right.
In which that you play in essentially a D&D style game that Tiny Tina is your DM for.
Amazing.
And it's fucking, the DLC is delightful for Borderlands 2.
Say no more. I'm in. Like, yeah. Incredible stuff. We also have a new Rainbow Six game coming out.
Neat.
Exactly. It looks really good. I gotta say, I saw just like the footage. It looks good.
Yeah, they're good looking games. They're cool games.
They're really, really good. New Avatar game.
Also neat.
I think I'll play it.
I'll give it a shot if I can, but like other than that, I'm not like just like I like Avatar, and I like the Avatar movie more than a lot of people have decided that they don't like it.
Wait, what?
The Avatar movie to me kind of has the Nickelback effect, where it was just like, so when Avatar came out, everyone went fucking nuts for it. It was just like, this is the greatest thing in cinema. Okay. It wasn't, but anyway. But then just like a year or two later, it became like the cool thing to talk shit on Avatar. And now just like everyone makes fun of Avatar.
Oh.
Everyone makes fun of Avatar now.
I know that.
It's the whole thing. We're talking about the blue people, right?
Yes.
We're talking about that Avatar. Okay, so I want to make sure.
No. Because if we were talking about Avatar The Last Airbender, the movie...
everyone shits on that constantly. It happens all the time.
Right. Which is why I was like,
yeah,
I think we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah. But even for like a video game for it, I'm sure Pandora would be cool to explore, but like, I don't know.
I'm into it. And then there's another RPG coming out called Elden Ring that I caught. I don't know if you caught. It looks really good. It looks interesting. Kind of creepy demon situation going on. Looks good. I could be into it.
Okay.
And that's kind of all I have outside of the world of Nintendo. I'm definitely more into the Nintendo things,
which is totally fair. The thing that I caught the last minute that just like I was just scrolling through going like, what else got announced at E3? Mm-hmm. They announced a Prince of Persia like HD remake.
And I missed it.
Which is it was like I just like it was just in the middle, just like, oh yeah, by the way, Prince of Persia. And I was like, fucking wait.
Oh,
what?
and by the way,
Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time specifically is gonna get a remake.
Oh, like a remake.
To which I'm just like, fuck yes. I was wondering if you knew Sands of Time at all.
I did not. No. Oh no, I know the game.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. It was one of my favorite games growing up. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so fucking good.
Oh, that's really exciting. I will definitely shell out yet again more money for another remastered video game from my childhood.
These HD remasters are doing us no favors to ever eventually hold up to our promise of doing a game for the podcast that's new. Like it's just gonna be shit that came out at least 5 years ago.
Sorry about it.
I'm not though, honestly. It's my podcast. And then I think they set a tentative date for the Gotham Knights game, which is going to be really cool. I'm excited about that. It's made by the same guys who made the Arkham Knight series games, but it's not within the same universe or storyline.
Okay.
It's set in a world in which that Batman and Commissioner Gordon have been killed, and now Gotham is essentially left to the reign of the villains. So now it's 3 Robins and 1 Batgirl basically are left to sort of defend the city. You get to like jump in between like characters and like explore Gotham through them and whatnot. And from what I know, in a very Arkham Asylum, Arkham City style of like gameplay and whatnot.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't finish. Which one was it? I think Arkham City. I didn't finish Arkham City.
That was the second one.
So good. Yeah, the second one.
Okay, yeah. Arkham Asylum is really good. I 100% Arkham Asylum. It's one of my claims to just like gamer pride.
Like 100%, like everything, all the collectibles and everything?
Yeah, all the riddles, all that shit. Yeah.
Oh, no easy feat.
No easy feat. And the challenges, like the battle challenges and whatnot. So I did that too. And then City was cool. I really liked Arkham Origins, which was the prequel they did after City before they released Arkham Knights. Arkham Knight was a really cool one. Like, Arkham Knight kind of got shit on, but like I thought it was a really cool concept and a really cool idea for how they took some of the storylines of Batman and threw them into a video game. Personally. So, even if it is like not a sequel to that series, which I'm fine with, I'm excited to explore more of it, and just like that gameplay style is always going to be really, really cool. And if I get different styles within that gameplay of like how to use that gameplay with like different characters, even more exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I had for E3. Was there anything else?
That's all I had for E3. I had some somewhat not E3 related stuff, if we don't mind talking about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the big thing about E3 was like there was no real announcements for anything other than up and coming video games, because all of the like consoles and everything are kind of like we just recently got new consoles for everything.
Yeah, they're out.
The only thing that we might have heard about would be like the Nintendo Switch Pro, but we didn't hear anything about that. So
yeah.
And then Alien announced a new gaming laptop.
They did.
They announced a new gaming laptop that kind of happened during that. I mean, great. Alien stuff is great.
So awesome. Something else that they made that'll be too expensive, I'll never be able to fucking buy.
Exactly.
Unless they want to be a sponsor.
Okay.
Shoot my shot, man. Let me have this.
I'm sorry. You shoot your shot. I'm sorry. Alien, if you're listening, yeah.
We're sorry. Thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you really enjoyed this more filthy and casual episode of the podcast.
Both filthy and casual
at the same time. Where we just kind of got to just like chit chat and talk about. I had a really good time just kind of getting to just like hang out and not have like a formula plan for like what we need to talk about today and just like chat about games and stuff. Was there anything from E3 you guys want us to talk about? Please be sure to let us know.
And as always, you can follow us everywhere at 3VO Podcast. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on all of the social medias. You can follow us and keep up to date with everything that we're up to. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Get notified when a new episode comes out.
Send us TikTok trends you want us to do.
Send us TikTok trends that you want us to do. We haven't really done much with our TikTok. We would love to do something. Help us out.
We've made 2. We need more ideas,
We need more ideas. So please, interact with us. We will talk back to you. We will interact with you. We'll chat with you. Let us know what your thoughts are out there. We want to be, interacting with all of you out there. And I know it's like 7 of you listening, but we love you 7. So
true. We do. We really do.
So please, like, comment, subscribe, all of that normal stuff. It really does make a big difference. And we appreciate each and every one of you out there that's listening. That's all from us. We'll see you next time.